What we were kind of thinking on as far as the theme is the gold buckle dreams. And I don't know if anybody knows or not, but in this barn, there is probably between 80 and 90 championships from various people. One man has about 40 himself. So it takes a little bit of tenacity, a little bit of focus to achieve that goal. And there's a lot of trials and pitfalls along the way, which is no different than in everyday life. But we need to keep overcoming them. And as long as we keep that focus on Jesus, we can overcome any pitfall that comes our way. At times, we lose that. And we start to drift or we start to move around. And a couple weeks ago, my sister had a Bible camp for kids. And they asked if I'd speak. I was struggling with what to talk on and this and that. And then I realized it really doesn't matter what I think I should talk on. It's what the Lord wants me to talk on. So it finally comes to me. I got it. Well, then Sunday morning, my sister hands me a paper and says, I need you to read this. So that kind of throat spoke in the wheel. You know, I didn't really know where it was going. But the Bible verse out of James 4:14 that is in this, pretty much tells us everything. We get so caught up in doing what we got to do for today and looking at what we have and trying to achieve our goals, to achieve that gold buckle. And in James 4:14, it says, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. And I'm choking up now reading this. This is about a 14-year-old, 12-year-old boy. I never met this boy. I was having a cup of coffee one morning, and he was on the news. And his name was Cooper Salisbury. And known as Cooper. So Cooper died very suddenly and unexpectedly this spring at the age of 12. The date was April 14th. And the verses from James 4:14 are so appropriate for his short life. Cooper was a very sunny, red-headed, freckle-faced kid growing up into a really neat teenager. Not that he was always the best kid. He liked to tease his sisters and occasionally rebelled against something his parents asked him to do. But he was the first to give up his recess time to help a special needs student in the congestively impaired classroom. He was a great friend to many students. No one ever bullied another student in his presence, and he touched many lives, both young and old. He had an engaging smile and a wicked sense of humor, especially when it comes to teasing his sisters. Cooper was a competitive athlete and excelled in hockey as a goalie and in baseball. He was on the baseball field warming up when an undetectable heart flaw suddenly ended his life. What enabled Cooper to be the really great kid and to have such an impact on people's lives was his faith. He accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior at the age of 10 and was baptized in his church. Cooper, as we say in the family, got it. He not only accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior, but acted on his beliefs. Yes, he had moments, but in his 12 years, he modeled what he believed to all came in contact with. And just as Cooper graciously understood how God had blessed him, those who loved him most are beginning to understand that having him around, even for 12 short years, was a real blessing. In his short life, his impact has been far-reaching. There's now a baseball field named after him, a memorial fund to help the children with heart problems get some help, a special reward given to middle school students who are deemed outstanding in helping other students. There is a memorial game to be played once a year in his honor. A special butterfly plaque at the Toledo Zoo with James 4:14 on it. Many other loving memorials to remind us not only of Cooper, but of the Jesus he served daily. One of the TV stations in Detroit, when interviewing his friends, coaches, and teachers, said it was a sad event, but so nice to do a positive story about a young man who had such an impact on those around him. So many times they were doing stories about violence and tragedy regarding kids his age. They also told the family that when they asked adults and kids alike what made Cooper so special, each one mentioned his strong faith. Not the kind of faith we just talked about, but the faith lived. Cooper had two favorite t-shirts. One just said witness. The other said, to whom much is given, much is expected. Those t-shirts pretty much expressed what he believed. James 4:14 says, what is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. The body vanishes, but his spirit is still strong in all those he encountered along his short life. We'll miss him, but we'll rejoice that he will be reunited with him again in heaven. May you be blessed by this special time at Cowboy Church and know that you do not walk alone. Jesus is always there beside you. Pretty powerful young man. At 12 years old. He got it. And here I'm thinking, I want to be like a 12-year-old kid. You know? Just to accept it. But we get so caught up in trying to achieve that gold buckle that we wear on our belt, and we can't take none of it with us. Or if we keep our focus on Jesus to achieve that gold buckle, that's forever. That's it for eternity. And essentially, that's what I hope everybody gets out of this here today, is that. To focus on Jesus. Focus on that gold buckle. Because you know what? He never lost focus. Everything that he went through, he never lost focus. And that was for each and every one of us. And you know what? Someday, I want to thank him for it. So that's what I'm hoping and praying for everybody here today. Find that gold buckle. Focus on Jesus and work towards that goal. So with that, I will introduce my sister and her horse Snickers.